Duncan McCabe for the Radical Independence Campaign. Thank you.
See, for me, this campaign has always been about three things. What everyone wants is the facts, but then it's also about values and it's about ideas as well. But we'll start with some facts, because they're really quite important. Our opponents tell us, and we don't tend to criticise our opponents too much, but I'm going to have a wee go now anyway, because they tell us the UK is okay. They tell us we're better together in the sixth biggest, strongest economy of the world. Well, maybe they should tell that to the 49% of Scottish pensioner households who can't keep their house warm in the winter, or the 1 in 5 Scottish children that grow up in poverty, or the tens of thousands of people who have to get by on minimum wages, on 0 hour, or on short-term contracts. And you don't actually have to be low paid to be in precarious employment these days. Ask anybody of the 100-odd staff at Dundee University who are having their jobs removed from them at this present time. Sixth biggest economy in the world, but it's not working for the ordinary people of this country. And it hasn't been for the last 35 or 40 years, since one day in 1979 that some of us will remember. Since then, inequality in this country has grown every single year, year on year, through Tory governments and through Labour governments and back into Tory, Liberal Tory governments. But we're a top 6 nation. We're one of the top 6 economies in the world. So why are we not in the top 6 league for equality? Why are we actually 25th out of the 31 countries in the European Free Trade Area? I mean, we're still better, we're still a little bit more equal than Romania and Bulgaria, and Greece and Spain are down there at the bottom of the league with us as well. But that's where we actually are. You know, a lot of people, I'm on doorsteps a lot. The front line of this campaign is the doorstep. And people say, okay, you're right there, son, but it's like it's the same everywhere, isn't it? But actually it isn't the same everywhere. Everyone faces the same problems. Every country in the world is facing the same problems of this neoliberal globalisation, capitalist privatisation juggernaut, but some of them actually try and defend ordinary people. Others don't. The ones that don't are the countries like the UK and the USA, which in the world, developed world global equality charts, which Alan mentioned, we're down there at the bottom of that league table as well, along with Mexico and Chile and Turkey. That's the level of inequality in Britain today. But you know, money isn't everything. So we look at other factors, and there's another league table that we're in. It's the United Nations Human Development League. Well, it's called an index actually, right? Are we in the top 6 of that one with our top 6 biggest, strongest economy? No. Are we in the next 6? No. We're not even in the 6 after that, down in Division 1. We actually come 19th there. What about happiness? That's a pretty vague concept, right? But the UN have actually been doing happiness indexes for the last 44 years. And they use a variety of factors, including economics and all the education, health, and as well as subjective surveys. I think we're in the top 6 of that one. The next 6? The next one? No, we're 22nd in that one. Now you may think I'm picking out league tables that suit my argument, and I suppose I am, but we can look at other league tables too, where we actually do come in the top 6. Because the UK is a top 6 player in the league of how big a stockpile of nuclear weapons you have. We're in the top 6 for that one, and we're also in the top 6 arms dealers of the world league. You know, I think it was the Clash Society, check the British bullets in the armoury of the terrorist that you label, or the freedom fighter or whatever. We're supplying them all, every side, both sides. Kids are killed with bullets made in Britain. 10% of what's left of British manufacturing industry is the arms trade. Well, I say no thanks to that. I say no thanks to all of that. I say no thanks to a low-wage, poverty-driven economy that spends its time making guns to kill people in other parts of the world. And it's that ideology that has created the inequalities that are most prevalent in this country. And it's time for us to change those values and replace them with what I think are our values, my values, I'm sure they're yours, and ordinary people across the world. The things that put community first, cooperation, and something that we're really sadly missing in this country today, compassion. Compassion. What happened to that? What happened to caring about our old folk and our young people? Caring about our environment and future generations? What happened to that? We don't think much about that as we race for more quick bucks in some stock market boom and bust cycle. And I said that not every country actually is as bad as this. And they aren't. We'll go back to the league tables again. Top 6. Doesn't really matter which one you look at. Inequality. Well, the most equal countries in Europe. Let's see if you can spot any big countries in there. Norway, Slovenia, Iceland, Sweden, the Czech Republic, the Netherlands. It's the same globally, same countries. Human Development Index, Norway, Austria, Sweden, Netherlands, Germany gets in there. That's one of the big boys. Ireland, Switzerland, Iceland, Denmark, Finland. They're way ahead of us. Happiness, Denmark, that's won it every year for 44 years. You know, they're definitely sort of the old firm of the happiness thing. And then you got the Norway, Switzerland, Netherlands, Sweden. You know, it's a pattern. Now, none of these countries are what you would call socialist countries. They're no utopias, but they've made efforts at trying to protect their citizens from the worst ravages of the World Economic Order. I want us to join them. Let's be more like them. Small countries, most of them about 5 to 10 million population, less sometimes. And maybe that's a factor. That in a smaller community, you're able to care for each other a little bit more. And what we're doing in Radical Independence is going out into the communities of this city. People will be knocking on doors, they say, nobody's knocked on my door for years to talk about politics, or even to get them a vote at an election. But we're knocking on their doors, we're talking to them. Because this is where the ideas come in. Because Radical Independents don't have a monopoly on ideas. Everyone's got ideas. Every single individual in this country has ideas about what sort of society they'd like to live in 5, 10 or 20 years' time, the type of country they want their kids and grandchildren to grow up in. We're all part of that conversation. This referendum is a conversation for all of us to take part in. That's why these meetings are so good. It's why the canvassing on the doorstep is so important. And with 3 and a bit weeks to go, we've got to step it up. I'm confident we're going to win. I'm so confident that I went to the bookies for the 3rd time in my life and put some money on it, because I'm going to have to pay for my party somehow. But we will win because we win. Not because Alex Salmond or Stuart Hosey or any of our politicians or political figures, well, they're not winning it for us. We're winning it. It's our country and it's our future. And with the yes vote, we can use the autonomy that we gain to create equality and build a people of Scotland. Thanks.